Alright everybody, it's Tuesday, it's May 7th, we're cruising into this month of May, and we got all kinds of stuff planned for you as usual, and it will be fun, of course, and I just had a little idea that came to mind, and so I'll talk about that in a minute. First, headlines. Wildlife photographer wakes up from a nap under a tree with a sleeping cheetah against him. I guess I just wouldn't be napping in a place where there's cheetahs. Ooh, got you right in the eyeball there, camera. Napping in a place where there's wild animals that can and or will eat you seems a little crazy. So I guess he was lucky that the cheetah just decided to take a nap with him instead of a snack with him. Yeah. All right. Next up, spacecraft approaches metal object zooming around Earth, snaps footage. Not exactly sure what they're talking about here, but apparently there's a metal object flying around Earth, and this satellite took a photo of it. When in reality, there's hundreds and hundreds, probably even thousands of metal objects flying around Earth. All the rockets that get thrown into space to launch satellites, all the satellites that are in space. I mean, this has been going on for a long time. There's a lot of space junk flying around. So how they isolated one piece of junk that was unique to all the other junk flying around out there, whatever. Next up, scientists say he has evidence that we live in a simulation. Oh, geez. I'm a little creeped out by that. I'm not sure what to think. Maybe this is a simulation. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I was definitely the cuter one in that picture, though. Definitely. All right, move right along to my idea. My idea is, yesterday I told you a story about the outhouses, yeah, and the corn husks. Yeah, weird story, and then I held back one part of the story, and the story was the weird job that I had. It wasn't really a weird job, it was just a crappy job, crappy job, pun intended, of moving the outhouse. Every couple of years we had to move the outhouse at my grandparents' cabin, and that required digging a new hole for the outhouse to sit over, and then burying the old hole. And my job was not the moving part; it was the digging and the burying part. It's very not fun job. There's lots of roots and stuff, and I was a short guy. I'm still a short guy, but I would have to get down in the hole to dig and stuff, and it was a very not great job. And maybe it would be fun to listen to the weird or odd jobs people have had over the years. So maybe we'll do that, because any kind of work is work experience. So even though I had that crappy job, pun intended, I learned from it. Grit, determination, how to follow instruction, because my dad would get mad if I didn't do it right. And many times he would come back and just say, not deep enough. Keep going. You got to get those roots out of there. This has got to be wider, and all this stuff. So you learn. With every experience you get, you learn a little something. All right. Next up, we'll go back into the bearded past with Zach. Hey everybody, I hope you guys' Monday was good. We're settling in here on Tuesday. And let's go ahead. Let's start. Let's go back in the bearded past with Zach. And we're going to start out with 1864, American Civil War. The Army of the Potomac under Ulysses S. Grant moves southward after the Battle of the Wilderness. The Battle of the Wilderness was Grant's first battle as the overall commander of all Union forces, not just the Army of the Potomac, over all Union forces. And he decided he would make his headquarters with the Army of the Potomac. And they fought a very violent battle. They actually say it's one of the only times they've seen the man cry. It was that violent, and that it was a stalemate. So what happened after this is he started moving southward, and he moved southward to Richmond. And along the way, they would fight a battle almost every other day.
And the whole reason he did this was he knew he had the manpower. So he knew he could have battles day in and day out. And eventually it would just come down to a matter of numbers. And that was his strategy until they ended up with the siege of Petersburg, and then they moved on from there. Also on this day in history, you have 1915. You have the German submarine, the U-20. It sinks the RMS Lusitania. The Americans used this to go to war. It had 128 Americans on it. It killed 1,199 civilians. These were innocent people. The public reaction to the sinking turns many, because there was a lot of pro-Germans, believe it or not, during World War I in the United States. This really turned that tide and turned us against that German Empire. Also, in this day in history, we have a 1945, the last German U-boat attack of the war. So the Germans really loved the U-boats. They were actually very good with the submarine, and they put it to very good use. Their Navy was never that large, that big, or that dominant, but they were able to utilize the submarine. So in 1945, General Alfred Jodl signs the unconditional surrender terms. I'm sorry, I'll go back to the U-boat, but at Reims, France, ending Germany's participation in the war. The surrendering took effect the next day, and the reason Alfred Jodl signed it is because Hitler was dead, and some of the other guys that they were looking for were all trying to run and get out of there. To go back to the U-boat, on this same day, the U-boat attack of the war, it was two freighters. So German U-boats actually sunk two freighters off the Firth of Forth, Scotland. So off some of the islands out there in the Scotland area. So unfortunately for those two freighters, they were casualties on the last day of World War II, guys. There's a little bit of air war. There's a little bit of a war history for you guys today. There'll be a lot of that coming up, to be honest with you. And in the older battles, a lot of times the winter time was the time to rest, recoup, and to get going again. And
back up. I was just trying to escape Steve's hug.
Oh wow! Well, I don't blame you there. You don't want to get what he's got.
And you'll see that there's going to be a lot of battles because of the changing of the seasons, guys. I hope you guys have a great Tuesday. Hope you enjoyed. You can check out all this stuff. Heck, if you want to check out the World War II stuff, I got a big book, and I've got the March of Wilderness also in my office as well. So if you're bored on lunch or want to go further into it, you can. All right, guys. Peace out.
Very cool. Learn from the past, past experiences, past work experiences. We learn from that, right? About new things that we want to do or things we never want to do again. Now we have to learn about foods that we may or may not want to eat again, right? Here's Gabrielle with We Eat What?
Oh, no. What? I don't think so. Oh, no. We eat what?
Good morning, everybody. Here we are. I won't say that I'm going to ruin anything for you. I just might make things a little uncomfortable that you eat. That's if you remember what I'm saying. So I decided I wasn't going to tell you what's inside of your food, that's some big word that you can't pronounce. And then you know what? If you can't pronounce it, it shouldn't be in your food, right? But anyway, I'm going to talk about an apple. How many of us like a nice apple? How many of us wash that apple really good before we put it in the refrigerator or before we eat it? Anybody? Well, I saw a hand go up for an apple, but no hand is going up that you wash it really good. Well, do you know what? I hang my fruit in these bags that are made of, oh, I don't know, they're cotton, and they breathe out of them, and they hang up, and all my fruit hang in there. I let an apple hang in there for I don't know how long, and it was shriveled up. If you ever look at an apple after a while, it'll shrivel up, but it takes quite a while. You know why that is? Because all of our apples are sprayed with wax. You know, if you grab something that feels kind of funny, it's got wax sprayed on it, and it helps to preserve it a little bit longer and stuff like that. Now, the wax per se is not bad for you, but you got to think, you got to wash all of your stuff to begin with. But now you're eating this apple that everybody's had their hands on, and it's got wax all over it. And then you're sticking that in your stomach. Why would you want to do that? Huh? Wash your apples, guys. And you just can't run it under cold water because the cold water is not going to melt the wax off. You've got to use some warm water or a really firm towel to wipe it off. Otherwise, you're just eating wax and everybody else's fingerprints. Gross. So think about that next time you eat an apple, okay?
Which is what?
We can always learn something, and here is the question of the day to help us learn something. Question of the day is, why do we always do SpongeBob before we see it? Whoa, whoa! Just kidding. Check out the reason. Check out the question of the day right here.
If you could have any view out of your bathroom window, what would it be?
The view I choose anime.
So what anime world are you trying to see?
My Hero.
I would say the country crowd, because I would go to the country crowd and eat on the crab patties.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
Very fitting answer.
yeah.
Ooh, any view I wanted would be the Oregon coast. Yeah, quite simple. I don't totally love the weather on the Oregon coast all the time because it tends to be a bit rainy on the Oregon coast. High temperatures. If you hit the 75s, you're doing pretty good on the Oregon coast. 80 is next to unheard of. You can get inland a little bit, but right on the coast, looking at the ocean, it is one of the most picturesque places you can think of and be at. Very beautiful. Spent a lot of time there, various different places along the coast. So that would be me. I'd love a bedroom looking out on the Oregon coast. So now that you know that about me, did you know this?
Did you can get your eyeballs tattooed?
Your eyeballs tattooed? That just seems unnecessary. Yeah, someone is just trying too hard at this point. You know, it's like, yeah, at some point there is the trying too hard. You know, to fit in, to be cool, to be different. It just gets too extreme at some point. Now, if you're really into tattoos and you tattoo your whole body and you got the sleeves going and all that kind of stuff, it's not that there's anything wrong with that, but sometimes we do just take things too far. The car with the hydraulics, the one that goes so high it flips over, unnecessary, right? It's the wedding cake that is 27 layers high. It takes 15 people to assemble it. It's too much. At some point, you're just trying too hard. Etching something permanently onto your eyeball that only other people can see, or you in the mirror, I don't know. I mean, we got contact lenses. You can put a contact lens in your eye that makes you look like you have cat's eyes. It makes you look like a planet. You got all this. Why don't you wear one of those? I don't know. Maybe I could be just a little old man-ish right here, but that tattoos on the eyeball seems extreme. Anyway, let's keep it simple, folks. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow on Wednesday. Take care, everybody.